Good afternoon. My name is Richard, and on YouTube I go by Resilient Rich, just because it does take resilience to stay on the narrow path that leads to eternal life. I was just making a video and my freaking phone died. But today, I've been thinking a lot. Just because, as I've said a million times, man, we are in a different time. And, I was born in 88, my generation, our normal is gone. It's history, man. We'll never experience that normal again. I wish I would have known this in my childhood, because I wouldn't have taken it for granted. Because the world's a different place, man. But something that I've come to learn is, there are a lot of people that wanted Trump in office to change things and to bring our country back to a healthy nation. And I used to be into politics. I used to be a diehard Trump fan, and now I'm to the point where I'm I think he's better than Biden, but I'm not really into politics, you know what I mean? And it's because I truly believe that we're in the last days, man. And no matter what we do, no matter who we get in office, even though Trump's already won, but no matter who's in office, the Bible tells us how the last days are going to be. And the Lord tells us to rejoice in that. So, I have kind of the mindset of the Lord tells us to rejoice. I believe that we are far into the last days, the second coming being sooner than a lot of people think. Why fight against prophecy, kind of, is how my head works. And that doesn't mean, whatever's going to happen, just let it happen. Let's just sit down and be lazy and not, just let our country go to crap. Deporting what Trump is doing, I think that's a good thing, because it's not fair to the citizens who had to come in the right way. Seeing these people just come in and get free benefits and all that, that's not fair to the ones that actually put in the work to get here and did it the right way, But anyways, that's kind of off topic of where I was even going with this. But it's hard because of how challenging the times are right now, especially for a follower of Christ, man. But I find hope, because the word does say to find joy in these days, because the time is near. So where, this is going to come to an end for us. And I just pray to God I'm prepared for that. I sin every day, man, and I try and have a repentant heart. Like I've said before, it's hard to be, especially today, man. It's not hard to be a good person, but it's hard to live according to the word in every single aspect, you know what I mean? It's challenging, but it's good because it builds growth and character. So, me saying that we should find joy, that doesn't mean, there are so many people that spend so much time fighting in politics and going back and forth in politics, when I've come to a point where I believe that we're in the last days, and you're not going to change prophecy type thing. Now, this doesn't mean that I believe that we just let life go on the way it is and have no backbone and let certain things go on, because the word also tells us to expose darkness. So I don't care if the Lord was to return tonight. We still need to do our part in exposing the darkness that we witness through our personal life and testimony. That's what, share with others how real darkness is, because the more and more people that come out and talk about things like gang stalking, like what I'm going through, the more people, the less people, maybe, the less people that this happens to, maybe so many people won't be completely blindsided when it happens, man. Like when it happened to me, dude. was lost. And that's the first state of gang stalking that they try and create, is confusion, right? And that was me. For the first 2 weeks, dude, it was driving me nuts. And I spent so much time trying to figure out what this was. And I came to the conclusion that it was the company I worked for making sure that we were decent drivers. As I said before, I had no idea it was gang stalking until like 2 weeks into it. And then I still didn't know. But that was the first time I ever heard the term called gang stalking. But that also led me to like the targeted individual community. And I mean no disrespect by this, but a lot of them seem weird. So I'm like, gang stalking? What? Like, nah. But it's still like, and then I start watching people that would go through the exact same things that I'm going through. So what I mean is, we need to continue to expose darkness. And just like Paul did, man. Like Paul is such an inspiration to me just because of the persecution he endured, man. Like, he's such a good example of someone to look up to. And you know, like how like sometimes you listen to the radio or whatever, you'll just put on your favorite song to get that like motivation. That's like how Paul's been with me, man. Like, the Lord's awesome, dude. Like, I just started reading books like 2 Corinthians, all kinds of books that, like, it was like I needed to read them at that moment in time. And like when I was at my lowest, just felt completely defeated. And I would go to my studies and surprisingly read something that Paul was talking about that he went through. And it's the exact kind of thing that I'm going through, man. And it just brought hope, and it brought hope, man. And it was like another burst of energy, you know? Just another fuel to keep going that next day. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard, man. It's really hard. But we need to find joy in this persecution, but we need to expose it at the same time. And the more and more people that come out about it, you know, a guy like me that gets on trying to figure out what the heck is going on in their life, and they first start to realize this kind of stuff, maybe they can find it in a day instead of 2 weeks like it took me. Past me to turn. And then he turns off his blind idiot. He passed me, so he had to get in the left lane. But it's, dude, whatever, man. Like, it's things like that I need to work on. I didn't have to get irritated over that. Anyways, it's a different world, man. And like, if you're a true follower of Christ, I guarantee you definitely 100% for sure see it's different. You feel it's different. And you may not be going through things like gang stalking, but I guarantee you're going through your own kind of spiritual warfare that is testing your limits and testing your faith to the extreme. And something that I think about, man, like, I used to get asked questions. Like, one of them was by my counselor when I first started talking to her about it, because I had to. But people would ask me, like, as an attack, though, what is so special about you for all these people to be following you? I don't know. That's what I'd say. I don't know, man. Like, I'm below average in society's eyes. Like, I don't know, man. There's nothing special about me at all. I don't get it either. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, I'm not scared at all. So it's not paranoid. I'm not paranoid at all. I just see what's going on, and it irritates the crap out of me. It pisses me off. That's what I would say. Paranoid schizophrenia. You're scared, looking out your blinds, and you know what I mean? I was never like that. I was pissed. But then I got to a point to where this is what I want to share. The Lord put it in my heart to believe that He loved me and that He chose me and that He was calling me, and that even though in the world's eyes and society's eyes I might be scum, in the Lord's eyes I'm something special. I'm a prized possession. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that pridefully at all. At all. I know he could take all the spiritual work that he's done in my life, he could take it in an instant if I start getting cocky and prideful. I'm saying this in hopes to encourage someone else. Like, if you are being gang stalked, man, like, think about it, man. If you weren't a threat to something, which I believe is darkness, if you weren't a threat to darkness, to evil, for me, I know it is. If you weren't a threat to darkness, to Satan and his kingdom, why would he mess with you? Why would he waste his time coming after you if you were no threat? And if you were just some average Joe that was blinded by society, why would so many freaking people come after you? So many. If you're gang stalked, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's deeper than anyone could ever imagine unless they're going through it. Why would all these people come after you if you're just a normal person? You know how much money it takes? Just gas alone, especially for a guy like me who goes state to state. My job is driving. Like, just gas alone is expensive, not including food. I know they get paid. It's probably not much, but I know they get paid. Like, why would they do that? Why would they waste all of this time, man? Something that I've also learned through this, and this is just from, like, this isn't a fact, this is more of a personal belief that I've come to believe through watching other people and learning through other people's views in life in the spiritual realm. Like, as a Christian, we're naturally going to have, as a person with a true personal relationship with Jesus Christ, we're naturally going to have spiritual gifts, right? Those spiritual gifts are going to be strengthened and revealed to us more and more as we work on our relationship with God. Now, people on the other side have spiritual gifts too. I want to say something, man. Whether it's white witchcraft or black, it's all evil. New Age will convince you that it's all about yourself and finding your inner self and finding happiness through yourself and finding that power in your inner self. And it's all about self-healing, and which self-healing is not self-healing. Healing is needed, you know? But it's all about self. And then they get into the spiritual realm as well. The thing about the New Age is they continue to search, man, because that hole, that void in their heart is never filled. So a lot of them end up becoming like Satanists. They go that far into it. Because then they start to learn the spiritual side of things and get into that. They keep going in deeper and deeper and deeper, man. And are required to do certain things, certain sacrifices and things like that for certain spiritual gifts. Not gifts, freaking whatever you want to call it, that on that side of things, powers or whatever. They're real, but I would not say they're gifts from God. They're gifts, absolutely. They're blessings. So, like a person who's having to do certain things and live a certain life and making a certain amount of sacrifices and live up to a certain quota for their spiritual gifts, I truly believe that causes severe envy, jealousness, and hate. To see a guy that can live a normal life and be free, yet have the same spiritual gifts that these people, like, put their lives on the line for, had freaking sacrificed family members, things like that for. And it's real, man. Like, whether you want to believe it or not, dude, come on. You can call me crazy all you want, I don't care. But you're blind. Like, if you don't believe in the spiritual world, like, go back in history and find out why they used to kill witches. You think that just went away? No, dude, it's getting even worse in the days we're in. It's an all-time high right now, man. So you want to come at me and say I'm crazy because I believe in the spiritual realm? You're crazy to think that this life is it. And, you know, after this, we're just flesh and bone with nothing inside of us, working this flesh and bone, working our thoughts, working our hearts. Like, it's just this body, and then once we die, we're dead. Like, If you believe that, you're crazy, man, in my eyes. And I'm not saying that to be judgmental, but if you're to come at me and say I'm crazy for believing in the spiritual realm, I think it's crazy you don't. I don't see how it's possible that you can't believe in it. But, so back to what I was saying is, I think that causes a lot of envy, hate, and jealousy for these people to see someone that's working on a relationship with God and developing more and more in the spiritual realm, being able to, you know, have knowledge of the spiritual realm, not be so blinded to it. Like, it drives them nuts, man. It drives them nuts. But it's nothing to be ashamed of, dude. Like, the thing is, they look at Christianity, and a lot of people, because I see it, man, that's how I used to be. Like, it's too hard. It's too hard to, like, live a good life, you know? To do the things that the Lord asks of us. It's too hard for a lot of people. But if you think about it, and if you're one of them, look at what you got to do. Like, if you're someone watching this on the other side with spiritual gifts, look at what you have to do for those gifts. Look at the sacrifices you have to make. That seems hard to me, like, but I couldn't do it, man. That takes a certain type of person. And, like, I can honestly say that you could offer me all the money in the world, and I would never, ever even think about sacrificing someone I love. Or even an animal, or like, no, dude, no. Absolutely not. So like I said, it takes a certain type of person, man. But to me, it would be a lot harder to be a true Satanist, like a true Satanist, than a Christian. Being a Christian's easy, dude. You just have to be obedient, accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior, and have a repentant heart, man. Like, you don't gotta go and do all these freaking rituals and, you know? But I am, like, at times, like, I have to force myself to do it. But like I've said before, lately, man, most of the time, like reading the Word and things like that, I've come to enjoy, man. And I think it's because, like, the Lord's brought me to a place where I can actually, like, understand. So I'm learning and gaining that knowledge, you know? But, dude, I'm sitting at a red light, just sitting there. It's been a minute. And right when I say that, it turns green. But, spiritual realm is so real, dude. Like, and the veil is getting thin, and it's just going to continue to get thinner and thinner and thinner, man. And then, like, just for instance, like, it was crazy, dude. I just talked about that orb that I saw maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know. Go back and look at my videos. But, like, I got some hate in that video. You know what I mean? I don't let it get to me at all, dude. Like, I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to talk about it. Because me not talking about it would be selfish. But, and I've seen so many things out here, too. Like, so many things out here. It's been cool, but eerie at the same time. You know, for example, like, I talked about that orb. I got hate, dude. And now, like, you're seeing it on the news. And you're seeing all these different kinds of orbs on the news. Some of them grouped up with, like, super pretty lights. And they're all, like, looks almost like, you know, like when a firework shoots off. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like a bunch of, like, fireworks shooting off, like, flying and, like, waving in the air and doing things like that. You know, the news can broadcast it. And, you know, it's all good, but you have a guy come out and talk about it. And society is so brainwashed to believing and not thinking for themselves that they're going to come after a guy who has seriously seen some things and talks about it, you know? So it was kind of cool, like, to see these orbs be talked about on a nationwide type level, you know? And it's things like that, like, like, just a year ago, were people talking about orbs and things like that? Maybe very little, not like it is today. That's what I mean, dude. And it's just going to continue. It more and more and more things are going to continue to happen. And the people that are out there calling me crazy and whatever are soon going to realize people like us aren't crazy, man. We just have a mind of our own. You know, and there's so many people that will use things against you, like, especially if it's like an ex or something like that. And I'm not saying this to be negative, but I guarantee you if we were still together, like, she would... Listen, for one, she's seen an orb. Like, she has a video of it and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, like, so many people are just swayed by whoever they're around. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Like, I was never about the whole COVID thing. Like, I didn't wear a mask. I did not believe in being forced to wear a freaking mask, dude. Like, if it works and you believe in them so much, then trust the one that you're wearing. Don't worry about me. That's how I looked at it. You know, my ex was the same way. But we were together. Her mom, like, wouldn't even come see our kids because we didn't wear masks. And we took them to the park. And you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, like, if she would have been with her family like she is now during COVID, let's say I were to go pick up my kids because I was able to and things weren't being, court orders were being followed, so I was able to see them, not being followed and doing certain things to keep my kids from me. If it was normal, let's say I was to go pick up my kids, right? I guarantee she would have been, do you have masks? Or, no, it's COVID. Are you crazy? They're not leaving. Like, she would have been all about the masks. I know it. If she was living with her family, you know what I mean? And that's how society is, dude. Like, I've never been like that, ever. I didn't care who I was with. Like, I'm gonna stand on what I believe in, no matter what. Like, and if you have a problem with it, like, you're free to having your thoughts, and whether that's agreeing with me or being against me, and I'm not gonna judge you for it. But don't judge me for mine. And that's what society has become, man, and we just need to be careful of that. We need, like, if you're gang stalk, I guarantee you're a type of person that thinks for yourself. They can't be controlled and manipulated very easily. I guarantee it. You need to be proud of that. Very proud of that. Dude, how hard is it to go along with what everyone says? Not hard at all. Now, how challenging is it to go against the grain? It's kind of challenging, right? You get some flack, you get some hate, you're treated different. Lies are spread about you, smear campaigns. Sometimes your whole reputation gets destroyed. Because I don't want to say this in a bad way, you know, because the Lord refers to sheep, but like, we're sheep of the Lord, man. You know what I mean? And that gives us the ability to think and be free-minded and not controlled, but like, they're sheep, dude. You know, they're society. It's a bunch of sheep just following the leader. You know, it's like they're too scared to think on their own. But yet, people who do have a backbone and who just mind their own business and have their own beliefs and maybe talk about their beliefs, you know what, man? It shouldn't matter what I talk about. If you want to listen, listen. If you don't. If you don't agree with it, don't listen. Like, that's how my mind works, man. But so many people, like, instead of saying how they would truly feel and maybe talk about their concerns with the way certain things are going, they would rather just keep their mouth shut and follow along than have a mind of their own and talk about that, man, and express themselves. There's nothing authentic about that. There's nothing to be proud of, dude. Nothing. I'm just grateful for who I am, and I don't mean that in a prideful way. Like, I'm so blessed, dude. Because I would rather have the life that I have any day. With all the freaking harassment I go through and everything. To be a slave to the world, man. And being a little, like, dude, clickiness disgusts me. Like, the little clicks everywhere, dude. I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't need that to feel good about myself, you know? I don't need approval. And that's what the Lord does for me, man. Like, He makes you feel all right. He makes it to where you don't have to have the approval of society. As long as you're trying to please Him, you know? That doesn't mean living perfect. I just wish more people were like that, dude. Like, this is gonna sound judgmental, but it's so irritating, man, seeing people, like, think they're cool and sit there and smirk at you. And if you're gang stalker, you know. Sit there and smirk at you and point at you like, this is kind of convincing, dude. It might be wrong, and if it is, then I'll deal with that when I need to deal with it. But it's irritating seeing people do this, and like, you know, by looking at them, they are not top notch. They are not nothing special, dude. But they're looking at you and pointing at you and smirking at you and laughing at you like you are so beneath them. When you can look at them and realize, dude, you can see right through them. You're like, you see the weakness in them. And you see, without this big group, they would be miserable. Like, these gang stalkers, dude, are the type of people that if they were alone in the middle of the night in a dark alley and you were to come up to them, they would piss their pants. But they're gonna go around acting like they're hot shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but it's the truth. They're gonna go around acting like they're hot shit and they're so much better than you, and they have the right to treat you a certain way. Dude, you really think you're that special? You really think you're that much better? I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but you gang stalkers have that attitude. And if you are, if you're so great, and you're so amazing, you have the right to put other people down, go do it on your own. Go do it on your own without your group of fake people full of backstabbers. That's what you are surrounded by. A bunch of people that would throw you under the bus how do I word it? The first chance they get to level themselves up and throw you under the bus, they're doing it. That's the type of people you're associate yourself with if you're a gang stalker. That's nothing to be proud of, man. Like, I don't see how you can be proud of that and look down on people. And I'm not talking about just me, I'm talking about people you target in general, who are the real strong people. Way stronger than you could ever be. And it's not people like me, it's not us. That's the thing, it's not. And we know that. It's inviting God into our lives. But you guys, you couldn't do nothing on your own. You hate being alone for 5 minutes. It terrifies you. Being alone terrifies you. You cannot stand it. So you gang stalkers and people, you will know what I'm talking about. You have to be around people because you cannot stand the feeling of being alone. You're terrified of it because it makes you reflect on yourself. But you're going to go and poke at people because of a smear campaign or for money or for whatever reason you're doing it. Like, that makes you good? That makes you feel special? I feel sorry for you because that is weak. Sorry, all riled up, man, but like this morning, dude. Not this morning. Yeah, like mid-morning, a few hours ago. Dude, there's this short colored guy behind me, man. He walks by me, like, I'm opening the thing for the drinks. He walks by me and then turns around immediately to get right, like, as I'm looking for my drink. He says, "Excuse me." And I knew, dude. So I just stayed there. For 10 seconds, I was picking out what energy drink I wanted, you know what I mean? He just walked by and then saw me open it and then turned around. That's what he did. So I'm like, I picked out my drink, and then, like, as I'm getting my drink, he said, "Did you not hear me?" I said, "What are you talking about?" "No, I didn't hear you." he says something. I said, dude, you just walked by that way. The minute I opened this, you turned around. Dude, he tries to make a scene in the truck stop. This is what they'll do. Things they do, man. He tries to make a scene in the truck stop. Oh, dude, you need to stop being so hostile. I'm like, hostile, dude? Look at you. You're being hostile. I said I didn't hear you. Why couldn't you leave it at that? Why do you have to keep it going? You know what I mean? I said this, dude. I was like, I'm sick of you guys, man. I was like, enough's enough, dude. You're nothing but a gang stalker. That's what I said. He says, let's go outside. I said, I'm shopping. Then I'm going to go shower. I'm not going to let you affect my time. He says, where are you parked? I said, right. I told him where. I said, I'm nosed in. It's a bright green truck with a hopper bottom on it. Maybe I shouldn't have, dude, but it pissed me off. Like, you're going to come at me, and then you're going to get hostile and cause a scene, but then try and put the blame on me and have everyone look at me. That's what the type of shit they do. But no, I'm not being gang stalked. That was completely normal. It's just a random event. No, dude. So, like, I'm expecting him to be out there. You know what I mean? I'm like, screw this, dude. Like, if he comes after me, I'm going to defend myself, man. I'm not going to do it first, but I knew where I was at. There was cameras around, and if this dude tries to get tough, I have every right to freaking defend myself. Dude was nowhere to be found, man. Just to cause a scene. That's the only, and that told me even more like, he just wanted to cause a scene and put the attention on me to try and ruin my day. And I let him get to me for a minute. Like, I should have just ignored him. Like, I should have just kept my mouth shut. You know, and like I said, that I've mentioned other times I followed, dude, it's hard when you're in the moment. But then you go back and reflect, and you realize the things you could have done different, dude. But, like, when, you know what I mean? Like in an animal that's constantly abused, sooner or later it's going to fucking bite you. Excuse my language. Like, I don't want to talk like that on this channel, but it's irritating, man. And then they try and flip it with what they do into you being the antagonizer when it was freaking them. For one, dude, they're so narcissistic. They're narcissists, man. So, like him just saying, did you not hear me? That's narcissistic right there. Right there. Like, you had room to walk by for one. You just walked by. But you're so important, I need to acknowledge you and do what you say. I need to stop what I'm doing and move for you, is what you're telling me. I don't play like that, man. Like, I'm a follower of Christ and I try and glorify him while I'm out, but at the same time, like, you're not gonna freaking do crap like that and just think it's okay. Because I guarantee you do it to people all the time, and I wonder how many gang stalkers have been hurt. That's what I want to know. I want to know how many of them mess with the wrong dude on the wrong day, man. Like, I would like to believe I would never do something like that, but I'm going to tell you this, man. I will stick up for myself. 100%. And I'm prepared to do that. That's all I'm going to say on that. I don't walk around like an idiot. That's all I'm going to say. But if you're gang stalked, you'll know, man. Like, and if you're not, and you are gang stalking, you know you couldn't handle a day of this. That's why you're doing it. Yet you go around and act like people like me are the problem. You're the problem. You're what's wrong with society. I used to be too. All it takes is going to God to change that. You don't want to, man. You'd rather just fit in for the very short amount of time that we're here. And you're gonna regret it. And you're gonna realize, I promise you, I already realize how short life is. You should too. But when your time's up and you're getting there and you know you're getting there, if you have the opportunity, you're gonna realize just how quick life was, man. And all the things that you've done to each person you've targeted are gonna be running through your head. And it's gonna terrify you. Because you know it's not right. I hope you guys repent, man. You won't. A lot of you won't. But I can still hope for it. No one deserves hell, man. anyways, this was kind of a different video. I went way off topic, but it was nice to vent. And hope you guys are okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice just to get on here and just talk sometimes and not really put much knowledge into it, you know? But anyways, I'm gonna go in and try and get a CB because I need one. But you guys have a good day, man.